Hi guys, Mike here. This is a continuation of the bandsaw gear replacement project, and I just wanted to give a little refresher. Clear back probably half a dozen years ago when I first bought this bandsaw, I bought it with knowing that there was a transmission problem. You could tell by the noises that it made, and so when I took the transmission apart, here's the two gears that I found were bad, and this is an odd gear here. So as you can see here, it's got a fiber component sandwiched between two steel sides, riveted together with these six rivets, and that's kind of an odd thing. This is because of the fiber in there. This is really light, but with the steel sides and the fiber middle, you can almost foresee that this thing is going to wear unevenly. You know, the fiber is going to wear out quite quickly, and then the sides are going to take all the wear, and then it goes downhill from there. So anyway, this is a helical gear. I'm not capable here in my shop, nor do I want to be tooled up to cut helical gears. This is the pinion right here, and you can see how chowdered up it is. The saw was still running, but boy, it was making a lot of noise, and it was headed for failure. So in inspecting this transmission, I could tell that this wasn't too difficult to replace, and replace with just straight cut teeth gears, in other words spur gears. So that's what I did. I made this pinion straight cut, and I made this this big gear here, 46 tooth big gear, straight cut. Now, why did they sandwich this fiber between the two steel sides? I think that they were trying to reduce the noise level of that transmission. And you know, transmissions can be pretty noisy, you know, with all the gears running in there. And so maybe that deadened the sound a little bit. That also is in keeping with helical gears tend to run a little bit quieter than spur gears. You know, only the original people at Doall would really know the reason for this. And so I don't care about the noise. You know, my saw doesn't, you know, run every day, although I'll tell you what, I use it on almost, I would say 80% of the projects I do, I run this saw. Probably once a week I run this saw. So, but anyway, sound doesn't matter to me. I can put hearing protection on. So that's what I did. I cut them straight cut. Now, I'm not happy with the gear that's in there, particularly this one here, the replacement. So that's why I made a new gear to replace the one that's currently in the transmission. I made it out of cast iron, and the one that the original replacement that I made was made out of 4140 heat treated, which is probably a superior gear. But you know, in reading up on it, they say that cast iron does run a little bit quieter. I'm going to think that that's maybe marginal, but anyway, I made mine out of cast iron, and it'll probably last this saw another, you know, well, indefinitely, you know, with the use that it gets. I don't know who's going to own it after me, after it goes into my estate sale. But you know, it's got a lot of life left in it with this cast iron gear. So the next step is to get that gear that I made into the saw. So we'll go over to the saw right now. So this is the saw right here, and this is a very early version of Doall's, you know, vertical band saws. You know, according to looking at the serial number and the tag on here, I would say it's a 1939 model. In fact, looking at the serial number, if I read it right, it's a 1939, and it's the 287th saw that was made in 1939. I'll see if I can get a close-up of this. So there you have it. Now here's the new gear that I made. This is made out of cast iron. You can maybe see that I've etched some information on there. I don't know if it's going to show up, but you know, I etched it's a 14.5 pitch angle on there, and or pressure angle I should say, and 46 teeth, and it's profile shifted, so that's all important information for anybody that they ever had to do a replacement or do some gear work in there. So that brings us down to getting this transmission out of here, and I guess we'll get going on that. So and this is just for information. This is a 2-speed transmission, a high and a low. In fact, you can see here on the tachometer, you can see it reads on one scale. On the outside scale, it reads the high-speed side of the transmission, and then the inside scale reads the low side. And then here's the blade welder that I worked on for so long. There was parts missing inside it, and there was some bad wiring in there, and you know, and there isn't really much information on a 1939 Doall bandsaw. Now, I did talk to Doall about this, their technician there, who's very knowledgeable, but even he doesn't go back to 1939. So, but they did the best they could to help me out. So between the information I got from Doall and a couple, 2 or 3 subscribers, the one subscriber in particular, he had found a very early wiring diagram in his Doall bandsaw. He had one that went back into the 40s era, and inside the electrical box someone had left the original wiring schematic, and that helped me immensely. And once I had that, then you know, it didn't take long, and I had this, you know, going again with the actual welder and the tempering part of this thing. So the welder works good now. I don't, you know, really weld blades because I don't buy blades in bulk. I mean, I can't, you know, that's not economical for me because I don't go through that many blades. In fact, this is the original blade that I put in it. It was a new blade when I got the refurbishment done on this thing. The only thing I could use, like I say, it's not really necessary, but for me, because I don't use it much, but on the grinder, the blade grinder, this wheel is worn out, and I didn't spend a lot of time, but in the time I did spend, I couldn't find a replacement for this little wheel with the hub diameter and the width and the outside diameter. So I could probably get one maybe from Doall, but anything from Doall, you know, is going to be really expensive. And by the way, when I first you know, was trying to decide how to fix this this saw and get it going again, I did look at just replacing the whole transmission, and I'm going to tell you, these transmissions are rarer than hen's teeth. You know, I just couldn't find one. I think I did locate one. I think Doall had one. I don't know if it was good used or whether it was new. Probably not new. But and it was like $3,000. Well, I can buy these bandsaws for less than half of that. So you know, it wasn't worth putting a new transmission into it. And so we explored that and ruled that out right away. And it does run fine with, you know, just putting these straight cut gears in there. So with that said, I'm going to get going on getting this transmission out. And you know, the first thing we got to do is get the blade off of there, which is no big deal. And got to take the let's see here, we can leave this upper pulley on, but we'll have to take this lower pulley out and get behind it, and then that's what mounts the transmission in there. And then there's some stuff to detach in the transmission too. So we'll get started on that now. Well, we have to get the blade out to start with, and this guard will have to come off. This guard will have to come off. There's a guard under here. This will have to come off. Then we can get the blade out. Then this lower pulley here, blade pulley, that'll have to come off. And when it does, in the front of the transmission will be exposed, but it comes out from the back. So around back here, this cabinet comes off, then we'll have access to the transmission and everything we have to get at there. Now the miscellaneous guards are taken off and the band wheel, and this is what the back of the saw looks like with the cabinet off. And so we need to take these belts off. This is a 110 outlet I added on the inside of the back of the saw because I added a LED light on, and so that's the receptacle for that. So now let's get these belts off of here. I don't know if I can do that one-handed. Guess I can't. I'll have to put the camera down for that. Oh yeah, here's the original motor that came with the saw. You can even see some kind of a tag on here. It says 39-100. And I tried to save as much of the original saw as I could. This is the air pump to blow the chips and stuff off the top of the saw when you're using it, when you're sawing with it. And this is a new air hose that I added on there, routed up through there. So, okay, let's see if we can get this belt. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's loosened up. It's a good thing. It's a good thing I'm taking this off here. Oh boy. I can't get that off. Well, I'll have to take this wheel off of here. There's probably a set screw in there. Okay. Okay. All right, there's that belt off. And I forget exactly. Oh yeah, there's a set screw in there. I thought there was. Okay. Well, let's get this belt off of here. So this belt is off the Vera drive. This side of the Vera drive goes to the input motor, and then the input motor on the back side of this Vera drive, and that's what drives the band wheel. So let's we'll just leave this on here. Okay, let's put that there. I can't remember exactly where. Oh, I see it. Okay. It's up here. It's way up here. Okay, let me get my Allen wrenches. which would be the right one. That's it. First time. Yeah, okay. That should be double set screwed there. So there's the transmission, and it looks like the bolts come out of it from the front side. My light keeps going off. Must need charging. Let's get another light. Okay. All right. Let's take that key out of there before we lose it. Okay. And we got to get this shifter. This is the shifter. This is a 2-speed transmission, and this is the shifter that does the work. And that is activated by this shaft, and that goes out on the back side, or on the side of the bandsaw there. So let's get that shifter off of there. What do we need? Okay, let's see. This little doodad here, if I recall, I figured that it prevented it from shifting while the saw is running, which really mucks up the transmission. Okay, so let's get some more wrenches here. Maybe I need a socket. Take these 2 Allen bolts off of here. Alright, this is how you take the shifter off right here. And this is not necessary to take off. And you'll see in a minute. I think I can slide this back. I'm on it. If I remember right, I've only had this transmission out of here 3 times. And it's in my lifetime, its lifetime, both of our lifetimes. These are 1/4" screws, Allen bolts, 1/4 20. Okay, and I dropped it. Let's see if I can find it. Kind of important. Kind of impotent. It's down there somewhere. Oh, I see it. Lost the... I lost the vintage lock washer. That's okay. We'll leave that in there for seed. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll hunt for that someday. Oh, actually I see it. Going by feel. Okay. Boy howdy, maybe I do have to take that out of there. Okay. Alrighty. That does have to come off of there. Alright, we don't need to take this out at this point. We don't need to take this off. We'll leave this connected until we get it out on the bench. And I believe that I remember now, if you just lift it up a little bit, you can cant that over. And now this little bracket will come with the transmission. So, all right, so now go around to the front and get those bolts out of there. And there's two dowels that have this transmission doweled and located into the frame of the saw. Okay. All right, now we have 2, 4, 6 half-inch, well, actually 3/8. Yeah, looks like 5/16 of 3/8 bolts here, and 2 dowels. We'll knock those dowels back, and then we'll take the bolts out. Okay. Let's see. Leave those dowels in the transmission, and so okay. Now I'm working alone here, so kind of scares me. I don't want this transmission to fall out the back side. I can't control it from the front here. All I can do is take the bolts out. Maybe what I can do is leave one bolt in, and then go around to the back. I might be able to reach around to the front and take that last bolt out while I'm holding it from falling out the back. And we'll try that. Leave those bolts right here on the front. That way I won't lose them. I can tell that transmission is loose. Okay, one bolt holding it in. One bolt. Oh boy, that's heavier than it looks too. Hopefully. Okay. All right. Let's go around to the other side now and take the pressure off the transmission, and we'll work this bolt out and see if we can get that thing out of there without pinching our fingers. All right. Alrighty, let's get the oil out of this old girl. put her right in the tub here. We'll stand this up as straight as we can, and we'll let her drain. So we'll break off right here, and I'll get back with you later on. See ya.